Welcome to a Polukranos Unchained deck tech.
Today, we're going to prove that it's actually pretty easy to escape the underworld.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
And I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. And I brought for you today a Polukranos Unchained deck list. But before we get into it, that sounds cool, so just subscribe.
And besides, you want to be subscribed to this channel because our subscribers are 10% less likely to get eaten by a Hydra.
Disclaimer guy here. Hydras aren't real, so you ain't gotta worry about getting eaten by them. So you don't gotta subscribe, but we would like it if you did.
Without further ado, let's read Polukranos Unchained, shall we?
Give him a read, B.
2 black-green for a 0/0 zombie Hydra. Polukranos enters the battlefield with 6 +1/+1 counters on it. If damage will be dealt to Polukranos while it has a +1/+1 counter on it, prevent that damage and remove that many +1/+1 counters from it. 1 black-green: Polukranos fights another target creature. Escape 4 black-green. Exile 6 other cards from your graveyard. You can cast this from your graveyard for its escape cost. If you do, it escapes with 12 +1/+1 counters on it instead.
That was a weird way to read the card.
Well, you don't spoil that it has escape if they don't know.
But they do. They clicked on the video. Who clicked on this Polukranos video like, I don't know what this card does at all?
New Polukranos, I'll click on this video. They just got tantalized a little bit, and now they're one of our many subscribers. The categories. This deck is a +1/+1 counter deck, obviously, Polukranos. We're stealing wins. We're just gonna steal wins, and then we're gonna set up these clunky, janky combos, and then we're just gonna assemble critical mass and win the game.
You said categories, you meant you were going to describe the deck. But also, the first category is +1/+1 counters.
I described the deck using the categories. Big brain play. Okay, first, the +1/+1 counters, they go on Polukranos, but they're also gonna go on almost all of our creatures. So we got a bunch of cards that I'm not really gonna read because they're all pretty similar. Pier, Imaginative Rascal, Hardened Scales, and Winding Constrictor all provide an extra counter, and Corpse Jack Menace and Doubling Season double the number of +1/+1 counters that go on you guys.
So, you gotta, those other 3, they cost very low mana, so you get an extra counter just for having, what? It costs 1, 2, and 3, literally.
They literally 1, 2, and 3.
And then Doubling Season's like 6 mana, right? 5 mana? I'm sorry.
That's embarrassing.
Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed.
Corpse Jack Menace is 4. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
How perfect is that?
It's-
What a curve.
What a curve.
You've accomplished nothing.
But then on the next turn, your Polukranos
watch
is
out.
huge.
Because you've got a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24, 48.
You did it.
Which doesn't even matter once it's past 21 because we're going to be killing people with commander damage. There's also Rishkar, Pima Renegade, which is 2/2 for 3, puts 2 counters on creatures. Now all your creatures that have counters tap for mana and are useful.
Yeah, exactly. Turning all your creatures into mana dorks? What? That's great.
Winding Constrictor's fine, but it doesn't really do anything besides being an enchantment. But if you put counter on it, now it can start to brawl a little bit better and taps for mana.
Ugh.
Give it multi-purpose stuff going on.
You're gonna put 2 counters on it. If you put 1 counter on it, you get 2 counters on it.
And Rishkar lets the creatures that already were out and are not summoning sick tap the turn that he plays them. So he can be free or even negative.
Yeah, you can be a ritual. Weird.
Ritual guy. Rayhan, Last of the Abzan, is 1 black-green for a 0/0. Enters with 3 counters, so it's a 3/3. And then when a creature you control dies or is put in the command zone, that part's relevant, you get to put its counters on something else.
Not as relevant with Polukranos, because
It depends if you sacrifice him.
if you sacrifice him or if he gets killed by a kill spell,
Or kill spell, yep.
it is relevant. But it's a lot of times he'll just die from like combat and stuff like that when he'll have zero counters on him.
Yes.
That's how he works.
Indeed. This next one's a spicy meatball.
Because I don't know what this card is. Looking at the name of this card, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
What is that?
Obsessive Skinner. This deck is trying to actually pay the escape cost for Polukranos, because once Polukranos dies, if you put him back in the command zone, he costs 6. So why not put him into the graveyard, where he will cost 6 once you just escape a couple of cards, then he dies, then he costs 6.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So we're gonna try to actually do that. So Obsessive Skinner is 1 and a green for a 1/1. When it enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Great. Delirium, every upkeep you get to do that if you have Delirium.
Oh.
Obsessive Skinner doesn't put the cards in the graveyard, but our deck puts cards in the graveyard, and that's why Obsessive Skinner, pretty sweet.
That's a weird card.
Isn't it super random?
I gotta tell you, I had no clue what
It
that
makes me
card
think
is.
of Principal Skinner.
Yeah, here's an obsessive Skinner.
Here's one obsessive Skinner.
She cannot be
The cameo. We have a cat. She used to do this all the time. Here she is. Okay, that was fun. Bye.
Unspeakable Symbols, 1 black for an enchantment. You can pay through life to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. If you have any of these doublers from earlier, you start putting on 2 counters at once. You have 40 life to work with. It's already 10 counters.
It gets really close to pay a life, deal a damage to the opponent. But with Polukranos, if he has trample or he's not blocked, you can just pay your life, get Polukranos to 21, and now they're dead.
Yeah, especially with the doublers.
Right, so if Polukranos is a 6/6, you gotta pay, 15? You gotta pay 45 life. With a doubler, you have to pay about half of that. Half rounded down, I guess. With an actual, when you have 2 hardened scales in a pier or hardened scales in a doubling season, it gets way easier if he's at 12. Now we're talking in super realistic paying life to kill people. And there's plenty of other ways to augment creatures. This is just instant speed. They can survive even board wipes or damage-based things.
Also, if you have Rishkar, you can turn all your creatures into mana dorks with this.
Yeah, this card I activate a lot. I've definitely activated it a lot. We also have +1/+1 counter-based card draw, and some reasons why we want to put +1/+1 counters on a bunch of creatures, and we can loop back to Obsessive Skinner and Unspeakable Symbol after this. Blood Tracker is 3 and a black for a 2/2 flyer. Pay 1 black and 2 life, put a counter on him. When he leaves the battlefield, you draw a card for each counter on him. That's just obvious, this card's great. Generous Patron is, we have 30-something Generous Patrons for the channel, but it's a 1/4 for 3. When it enters, you support 2, put 2 counters on any creatures. When you put a counter on a creature you don't control, you draw a card.
That's pretty simple. Why is that good? It's good because you draw cards. And if you have Unspeakable Symbol, you can just go 3 life, put a counter on your useless O2, draw a card.
Or your commander that I have Chump Blocker for. It doesn't matter. Obsessive Skinner, same thing. Every upkeep he gets draw a card, which is awesome. And Armorcraft Judge is 3 and a green for a 3/3. ETBs, draw a card for each creature with a +1/+1 counter on it you control. Yeah. It's a one-time thing, but I think it's all right. It's going to be at least 3 or 4 every time.
It's perfectly reasonable. It doesn't need to be this insane card. It synergizes well with the deck. It does what it needs to do.
We have tutors for it, so it's better than Harmonize, even. I like it. Now we got to modify Polukranos. He's one of our main win conditions. If we're not attacking, if we don't have Polukranos, we're not attacking. Let's put it that way.
Okay,
more or less. We got Lightning Greaves, which we almost never put in decks. But this one is big, I think.
Not unless the deck needs it. When this deck obviously
we don't
needs
just throw it into a deck because there's a creature as the commander, right? I think Lightning Greaves is not a great card. But it's great here because there's big turns where we know we have to escape Polukranos as a 12/12. I want that guy to have haste.
Don't you want all your 12/12s to have haste?
I would like most 12/12s that I play to have haste.
Yeah, because if they don't, they usually die before you get back to your turn.
Yeah, it's tough. Especially when you're trying to fight things with him. You don't want him to be targeted instant speed. Basilisk Collar, speaking of fighting, now he has Lifelink and Death Touch. If he's 12/12 and he's fighting things, gain 12.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems pretty good.
Also kill that 13/13 they had.
Yeah, kill anything they had. It doesn't matter. Waste a Polukranos life on just gunning down things for 3 mana. And Blade of the Blood Chief, 1 mana for an equipment. It equips for 1. Equip creature, whenever a creature dies, you put a counter on the equipped creature. If you fight 1/1s, you can just do it forever.
Also, random. This is gonna be random, but isn't that guy we just read the 2/2 that draws cards of vampire? I know you get an extra counter for vampires.
Oh yeah.
Put this on your put this. What's his name?
Blood Tracker.
Blood Tracker. Put this on your Blood Tracker. You'll get double counters.
Go to town. That guy draws so many cards.
I forget. Yeah, this is a random thing that works well. In this
Blood Tracker just so happens to be better than Greed, which I don't even think Greed is that great of a card. Another weird inclusion, Status Statue. We're gonna have a lot of mana. We have a lot of mana lying around. We're a green deck. We're perfect. We're gonna fight with Polukranos a bunch of different times. Status is Golgari Hybrid for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. Statue is 2 green/black for an instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature. This is a mediocre removal spell tied to what could be a really good removal spell. Additionally, once Polukranos doesn't have counters on him, he can still fight if he has power. Damage won't be prevented because it only says if he has a counter on him, but that gives you 1 extra fight with Status.
Well, but won't he have counters on him?
What do you mean? Polukranos is a 10/10, and you Status him, and you fight 2 5/5s. Now Polukranos is a 1/1. with Death Touch, and you can fight an extra thing.
Okay, that's fair. I was thinking, in my mind, I was like, what are you talking about?
Another way to augment Polukranos, just give him Indestructible with Inspiring Call. 2 and a green for an instant. All your creatures with counters on them gain Indestructible, and you draw a card for each creature that has one of those counters on it.
So you get to draw. I mean, Polukranos can lose all his counters, and he'll still die because
He
he'll be
will
a
still
0/0.
die. If you fight after he's Indestructible, damage is still dealt, so it still prevents it, and then removes the counters. Finally, the last thing we're going to do with Polukranos is make him unblockable. How, you ask? Let's give him Swamp Walk. How, you ask? For free. 3 and a black. Filth. It's a 2/2 with Swamp Walk. Nobody cares. If it's in your graveyard and you control a swamp, your creatures have Swamp Walk.
It makes all your creatures dirty.
We have the Urborg Cabal coffers in this deck, because why not? So once you have Urborg out, your creatures are guaranteed unblockable, which, I mean, that's what we need Polukranos to be.
Filth is such a weird card.
Filth, it's got a great name.
The fact that as long as you're dirty, as long as you are
Yeah, if
dirty,
you've got enough dirty on you,
who's gonna stop you in a swamp?
they can't block you. You're just gonna trek right through with all that dirt over you. All right, I've aptly named the third category. What is it, Joe?
Escape Clause after the Santa Claus 3's title?
Yes, absolutely. Watch that movie if you haven't watched it.
Don't.
It's great.
It's not.
It's a great movie.
So some ways to fill a graveyard for the Escape Clause. Satyr Wayfinder, a 1/1 for 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can put a land into your hand, put the rest in your graveyard. Buried Alive is 2 and a black for sorcery. You can search your library for up to 3 creatures, put them into your graveyard. There you go.
Then shuffle. Filth is one of them. Another way to get filth in the graveyard, not specifically filth, but anything you want. Fauna Shaman, it's a bear, and you can pay green and tap it, discard a creature card, search for a creature card. This card's only like $4. I think more people need to be playing it.
This is a creature form survival fizz, a super fair version of it. Because
It's
obviously
so good.
survival is insane. And
Survival of this is broken, and it's like $80.
survival would be in this deck if it wasn't so.
There's just no point. Like Mana Crypt's not in this deck, but maybe it should be. You know, if I had one, I would say it's wrong to not play it.
Probably.
But that's not the point of these deck techs. The point is to say, look at all this cool stuff you can do with Polukranos.
Yeah, you can also throw, if you have a Mana Crypt laying around, you can also throw that in your Polukranos deck.
I think we just said that.
Well, you said if you had one, not if they had one.
Oh yeah, you guys have one too.
It's different.
There's so many other ways. There's so many other things you do. What's the next one?
It's Underwhelm Lich.
Underrealm Lich?
It's what I said.
I said Underrealm Lich.
Oh my God.
Check the tapes.
Underrealm Lich. 3 black green for 4/3. If you would draw a card, instead look at the top 3 cards of your library. Then put one of those in your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Pay for a life, gains indestructible. Tap it.
This guy is never going to die to the majority of board wipes or spot removal spells. He's going to fix your draw, so the draw is 3 times as good as it would be, and fills your graveyard for Polukranos.
I don't know if that's true. The draw is
3 times more selection you'll have.
That's true.
That's accurate.
Well, I was gonna say, what if the top card is what you drew, and they've rest in peace out? Now it's just worse.
Okay, yeah, that's bad. Also, keep in mind that you have to, with Dredge, you can choose to Dredge instead of this guy. You can choose the replacement effect you want.
Yeah,
It's not like you can't Dredge with this guy out.
You can't.
If you really want those 5 extra cards, do that. But I think Underworld Lich, such a cool card. I want to play it somewhere, but I just don't have a deck it goes in.
Maybe you do. You're just too baby.
It's a competitive deck.
You're too baby.
Read the last one. I know you know what it does.
Traverse the Rivenwald is a sorcery for 1 green. Search your library for a basic land, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. But if you have Delirium, you can search for a creature or land of any type.
Perfect. It basically becomes Green Sun Zenith.
It kind of.
You add 1 to the cost of any creature. It's better because it puts it in your hand, and then you now have the option of playing it or not, and hits black creatures, etc.
There's 3 Delirium cards in this deck at least. It's a lot of Delirium.
Pretty sweet. But now we got to win the game, and this gets a little combo-y. Surprisingly combo-y. We haven't mentioned some of the most clickbait nonsense cards that Polukranos is good with. One of them, or 2 of them I should say, for winning the game. Tainted Strike, which has so many applications. We'll talk to when we get to the best card in the deck. Tainted Strike is 1 black for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains Infect. Polukranos is a 9-power creature. Somebody doesn't block it. I don't know why they would. You know, maybe that's very tempting not to block. Boom! Infect, you're dead.
How often is he a 9-power creature?
I don't know.
Not often.
I haven't played this deck.
I'm just going to say that.
I couldn't tell you. And then what's the next one?
Berserk costs 1 green for an instant. You can double the creature's power. It'll die at the end of turn.
Against trample. But notably, the Berserk says destroy it at end of turn. So even if you make Polukranos indestructible, he doesn't die from it.
Oh, yeah. Berserk's a weird card.
Well, they didn't word it right, so they had to errata it, and it ended up weird.
Yeah, Berserk is just a weird card. That's all it is.
Definitely. Let's just cover the best card in the deck, because I don't think it's really that close. It's Walking Ballista. It's XX for a 0/0, enters with X counters. You can remove a counter to deal damage to a creature or player, any target, and then you pay 4 to put another +1/+1 counter on it. Knowing that, Macleod the Unhallowed, what does that do?
3 black for a 5/5. He has Intimidate. All your other non-human creatures get +1/+1. Whenever a human deals combat damage to you, destroy it. And all of your creatures have Undying.
The most important part, your non-humans have Undying. Actually, the only part that even matters.
No, it really is the most important part. The other parts are kind of like... In fact, Macleod would be a better card without the line of text of +1/+1. Because he would combo easier.
Yes, he would combo easier. So Macleod is going to go with either Walking Ballista or Triskelion. Triskellion's 6 for a 1/1, enters with 3 counters. So Macleod is going to say, hey, Walking Ballista, you're a 1/1, base stats. You're going to need something like Hardened Scales out. So you remove a counter from Ballista, shoot somebody. Then you remove another counter from it, shoot itself. So it will die with its 1/1 base stat. Macleod says, hey, you have Undying, come back. Hardened Scale says, hey, get an extra counter. So you have 2 counters, and you go ping someone, ping itself. Goes away. Comes back, ping someone, ping itself infinitely, kill the table. Triskellion's the same way. You have to ping someone and then ping Triskelion twice.
Yeah, Triskelion doesn't need the extra effect. You can just ping itself twice and shoot an opponent for anything.
Anything for 1. Whatever you
exactly.
have to shoot, you can shoot. I would say the next best card with Polukranos is Vigor. 3 green for a 6/6 trample elemental incarnation. If damage will be dealt to another creature you control, prevent it. Put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way. When Vigor is put into a graveyard, shuffle it into its owner's library. If you have Vigor out and you have Polukranos out and you fight something, you choose Vigor's replacement to have Polukranos gain the counters instead of lose them. So he just gets bigger and you can just fight everything in your way. And then with the counters he gains, just kill somebody with commander damage.
Yeah, he'll get huge really fast. So this also combos with Walking Ballista Triskelion if you have a Hardened Scales effect out.
Yes.
So Vigor with Walking Ballista or Triskelion if you have a Hardened Scales or any one of those effects.
We have 5, remember?
Yes. So if you have any one of them on the field, then the Ballista will ping itself for 1, get 2 counters. You can make an infinitely big one, kill everyone. Triskelion will do the exact same thing.
Exact same thing, but again, worse. If you find yourself short on mana during any of this, because this is a pretty clunky setup, you just play Crystalline Crawler the turn before. It's 4 mana 1/1. Taps to put a counter on itself, converges to have counters on itself, but you can remove a counter from it to make mana. And you can do this anytime you want. Doesn't need haste, doesn't need anything. So if you're short on mana, just do that. Crystalline Crawler is insane.
Yeah, it's a really good card. It's not a win con though, BZ.
I didn't say it was. What's the next one that actually is a win con?
Well, Great Henge, basically we need anything that has Persist. But we have Woodfall Primus, which is insane.
And a sack outlet. Great Henge, most importantly, creatures that enter under your control get a +1/+1 counter and you draw a card. Woodfall Primus is going to destroy a non-creature permanent when it comes back. Then you draw a card with Carrion Feeder sacrificing it every time. Draw your entire deck, destroy all the non-lands, and then win with a combo above.
Don't draw your entire deck. You're probably gonna fall short of mana. If you start doing this, and then you just draw your whole deck, you're like, oops. I mean, I blew up all your permanents, but now I lose on my draw step. So now you guys get to start a new game.
No, how are you not have? You got to be close to infinite mana when you draw your whole deck.
No, I was just saying in the situation where you tap out for Woodfall Primus.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have
don't
you draw your whole deck, and you go,
that.
haha, you guys have no permanents. I die in my draw step.
If you really need to, Woodfall Primus, if you're out of non-creature targets for Woodfall Primus, just target your land and then respond to it and keep targeting the same land. You don't actually have to blow up all your stuff. But the last one, if you run out of things, can blow up Great Henge, so you stop drawing cards.
Do we have any card to put in to our deck? Like, if we went to discard and we discarded like a million cards, does any of them shuffle in?
Doesn't Vigor?
Ooh, does it? Does Vigor? Vigor, baby?
Yeah, from anywhere.
Oh, So we're not gonna die.
Doesn't even matter.
Boom.
Boom.
We did it, baby.
We did it. Great Henge is insane in this deck. This deck is just awesome. I love all the combos. I love all the weird stuff you can do.
I mean, you said in this deck. I mean, why did it need that caveat? Great Henge is insane.
Yeah, I would say it's one of the best 10 commander cards that came out this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
I don't know where it is though. You gotta watch the video. Whoa. Plug. I love Teenage Strike with Walking Ballista. That's what I want to do. I want to just shoot somebody for 10 the hard way.
That's what you want to do? Ugh.
That sounds great.
I don't want to do that.
Or you have a 6/6 Ballista, and you attack them with Swamp Walk, pump it, they take 7, and you just ping them the rest of it.
Did you put, what's his name? Protein Oak in this deck?
No,
Oh, that's surprising. It's just really,
just lame.
I mean,
Put it with your Mana Crypt.
Isn't Macias Walking Ballista?
I mean, that doesn't go infinite by itself.
And you just need a sack outlet? And then you
You
win?
need a Sack Outlet or... Oh, yeah. Well, no. Because
Yeah, Macias Walking.
Protein Hulk gets Macias Ballista, but now you can't go off.
You just need a sack outlet. That's what I said.
Yeah, but there's only one Sack Outlet in the deck.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
It's carrying through.
Protein Oak's good.
Put Protein Hulk with your Mana Crypt. I just didn't put it in. It's lame.
I mean, it fits in this
We're
deck,
doing
though.
Polukranos fight things. We're not playing Polukranos just so we can tutor Protein Hulk.
Oh, I feel like when you play, when you have the Macias Walking Ballista, I feel like you just want
There's not too many tutors. I think Traverse the Uvenwald and like Green Sun Zenith are the only tutors, and that doesn't find either of those.
All right. Well, this deck is sweet, regardless of anything.
Plus and plus some counters, fighting, escaping zombie hydras. It's great.
Get out of here, winning the game category. I'm trying to push you
We're
off.
done
the
with you.
screen. Get away.
We're out of the plug category now.
The plug category. Special shoutouts to our, is it 33? I believe it's 33 pages.
Generous patrons. Putting counters on all our opponent's creatures and drawing cards.
So, special shoutouts to all of our patrons. We love you all as much as we can. As much as we can.
+2, our moms.
Without making you uncomfortable.
Moms
No, we already said we make our moms uncomfortable with how much we love them.
Yeah, but our moms also are in that bunch. I don't know. Go to TCG Player and view this deck list, and if you love what you're viewing, go buy some cards. Go buy some singles. Go buy some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Go buy some Funko Pops. Just use the link, and then we get a little bit of kickback, so it helps the channel, and you don't really have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything except for spend your money on stuff you already wanted.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's what I was gonna say.
Great.
In fact,
Well,
I said it. Shut up.
I guess
Peace out,
we're done
Tribe
then.
Scout.
We're
I
done
said
then.
it already.
I guess we're done. Done here.
Peace out, Tribe Scout.
I guess we're done here.
That's not the sign off.
Guess we're done. Peace out, Tribe Scout.
There you go.
Guess we're done.
That's the sign. Peace out, Tribe Scout.
Guess we're done.